यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्यदिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौरा भक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौरा भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा, प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव भगवान की, श्री निताई गौर सुंदर की, पतित पावन शिला प्रभुपाद की, समस्त गौर भक्तबिंद की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। मंत्रा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। We are studying from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, which is entitled as The Status Quo. Chapter number 25, which is entitled as The Glories of Devotional Service. And today we shall chant and discuss from text number 6 and 7. तम आसीनम अकर्माणम तत्वमार्गाग्र दर्शनम, स्वसुतं देवहूति आह धातु समरति वचः। Translation: When Kapila, who could show her the ultimate goal of the absolute truth, was sitting leisurely before her, Devahuti remembered the words Brahma had spoken to her, and she therefore began to question Kapila as follows. Devahuti uvacha निर्विन्ना नितिराम भूमन असत इंद्रिय दर्शनात् येन संभावयमानेन प्रपन्ना धम तमः प्रभो। निर्विन्ना नितराम भूमन असत इंद्रिय दर्शनात् येन संभावयमानेन प्रपन्नाधम तमः प्रभो। देवहूतिरुवाच निर्विन्ना नितरां भूमन् असत् इन्द्रियदर्शनात् येन संभाव्यमानेन प्रपन्नाधम तमः प्रभो। word for word meaning. Devhuti uvacha, Devhuti said. Nirvinna, disgusted. Nitaram, very. Bhuman, O my Lord. Asat, impermanent. Indriya, of the senses. Tarsanat, from agitation. Yena, by which. Sambhavyama, nena, being prevalent. Prapanna, I have fallen. Andham tamaha, into the abyss of ignorance. Prabhu, O my Lord. Translation. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Devhuti said, I am very sick of the disturbance caused by my material senses. For because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance. I repeat the translation. Devhuti said, I am very sick of disturbance caused by my material senses. For because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance. Purport. Here the word asat indriya tarsanat is significant. Asat means impermanent, temporary, and indriya means senses. Thus, asat indriya tarsanat means from being agitated by the temporarily manifested senses of the material body. We are evolving through different statuses of material bodily existence, sometimes in a human body, sometimes in an animal body, and therefore the engagements of our material senses are also changing. Anything which changes is called temporary or asat. We should know that beyond these temporary senses are our permanent senses, which are now covered by the material body. The permanent senses, being contaminated by matter, are not acting properly. Devotional service therefore involves freeing the senses from this contamination. When the contamination is completely removed and the senses acts in the purity of unalloyed Krishna consciousness, we have reached Sad Indriya or eternal sensory activities. Eternal sensory activities are called devotional service, whereas temporary sensory activities are called sense gratification. Unless one becomes tired of material sense gratification, there is no opportunity to hear transcendental message from a person like Kapila. Devhuti expressed that she was tired. Now that her husband had left home, she wanted to get relief from hearing the instructions of Lord Kapila. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyam Iswaram. In the text 6 it is said, when Kapila, who could show her the ultimate goal of the absolute truth, was sitting leisurely before her, Devhuti remembered the words of Brahma had spoken to her, and she therefore began to question Kapila as follows. Next translation. Devhuti said, I am very sick of the disturbances caused by my material senses. For because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into this abyss of ignorance. So this is the starting of the famous dialogue between Devhuti and Kapila, which is recorded here in Srimad Bhagavatam. We see this, the most important side of Devhuti's life. Living entity in this material world somehow has got trapped, can't say when. It is said it is from time immemorial. It looks like we are eternally conditioned here, and in this existence, material existence, that moment is the most important moment when we start awakening our real consciousness. We start going back to Krishna. So this is the moment for the Devhuti. Devhuti was married to Kardama Muni, and then he knew, as mentioned here, Lord Brahma has already told that their son will be personality of God himself, and he will enlighten Devhuti in the transcendental knowledge, and by which he will be able to go back to Krishna. श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, श्री श्री गौ सुंदर की जय. So this is the moment. Now Devhuti is inquiring from Kapila Muni. This is the most important time in Devhuti's life. In fact, it is said when a human being starts inquiring, then he comes to the platform of being a human being. As Vedanta aphorism, Vedanta Sutra starts with Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now you must inquire. See, all living being in this material world has 4 requirements. Ahar, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithun. This requirement is common. Human being, animal, everywhere. This is the bodily requirement. So, in human being, as we get this human body, we get this opportunity, we get this higher consciousness, intellect, where we can try to find out why I am here in this material world. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. It is said, therefore you must inquire. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So till that point we are just living like an animal. But after this, when we inquire from right sources about these aspects, why I am suffering, though I don't want to be suffer, who am I, who has created this world. These are all very, very natural questions which comes into human instincts. So till we come to this point to inquire, we are not better than an animal. And Devhuti has got personality of Godhead himself. He is Jagat Guru. Krishna is the original Adi, spiritual master. And she has got this opportunity. The Lord has appeared as his son. And she takes this opportunity. Is very intelligent woman, Devhuti. And she takes this opportunity and inquire from the Lord. So Devhuti is now opening with her situation. This is like when we are hungry, we know we are hungry. When we are thirsty, we know we are thirsty. Similarly, when we drink, our thirst is quenched. When we eat, our hunger is satisfied. So similarly, Devhuti has gone through this experience. Earlier in this lifetime itself, Devhuti was a princess of the emperor Swayambhu Manu. uh, very royal, opulent life, and then she chose to get married to Kardama Muni, and he was like staying in a forest as a mendicant. He was nothing there with him, and she got married to him, and she engaged herself in serving him very nicely. And later Kardama Muni also became very happy with her, and he blessed her with most magnificent or mysterious lifestyle, where he created with his yogic power a flying city, and with her he took on yatra all over the part of universe, from down to upper planetary levels, left to right, and both of them had a very nice time. And then she got 9 daughters, and then Kapil Dev was born from Devhuti. So she had a very good experience of material life, and now she is sharing that I am very sick of disturbance caused by my material senses, for because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance. Now she is sharing her realizations. The senses are considered like a enemy or snake, Kal Sarpa. When the senses are not controlled, when they are engaged into material activities, this just invite inevitable time to take away the opportunity which we have got in human form of life. So Devhuti is telling that these senses are just disturbance. Like why one is impelled to do wrong activities? Because of force of demands from the senses. Say one person is very hungry, then he may go for stealing or do any sorts of things so that he get food. One feel lusty, then he may do some nonsense activities. So all different senses, they are pushing all the living entities to act, and that person gets into the action because of so much demands from the senses. In order to be controller of senses, when we start becoming servant of senses and try to satisfy that, we see that we fall into more and more trap of the senses. So this is what is Devhuti's realization is, for because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance. Kamesa, Krodesa, Rajopun Samudbhava, Mahasano Mahapapma, Vidyenam hi Varinam. So this Kama, desire for satisfying the senses, turns into Krodha. Kama esa, Krodha esa, Rajogun Samudbhava. Krishna is telling they are all born from Rajoguna, mode of passion. Rajogun Samudbhava, Mahasano Mahapapma. This is the most formidable, powerful enemy for the conditioned soul. So senses, more we try to satisfy the senses, instead of being satisfied, they remain unsatisfied. The analogy is given, it's like when there is a fire and we add fuel inside that, ammunition inside, it's becomes more and more bigger. So similarly, when we just keep on trying to satisfy the senses, the senses becomes more and more undissatisfied. That's what is said. Indriya Tarsanat, Asat Indriya Tarshanat. We think that if I have this experience, I will be satisfied. But when we go for that experience, we see that we become more dissatisfied. This all we can understand from our experience. And then we try to further satisfy the senses. And then it keeps on going. And we forget our real business of life. That is ignorance. Prabhupada is writing that Asad Indriya Tarsanat. This is till we come to this understanding, the senses can never be satisfied. And we feel this burning desire to get out from this sense gratification business. Till then, that real inquiry does not take place. You see that that incident of Indra, he becomes bored and then hog, but still he wants to so much enjoy his senses that when Brahma comes to call him back, come and join Indra's position, he denies. No, he is thinking that I am a hog. This is ignorance. I am a hog. In reality, he is Indra, but he is being punished with this body of a hog, and in that hog body, he has put into the business of sense gratification, and he is more and more getting involved into hog's experience of sense gratification, and he forgets that he is Indra. So much so that even Brahma calls him, he denies. So. More and more we get into this sense gratification business, more and more we forget our real identity. Our real identity is we are spirit soul. We are all Atma. The body is just a dress. As we are putting this dress today, in this life, Atma has got this body. And tomorrow we will leave this dress and put some other dress. Similarly, at time of death, soul will put on some other dress. But we see when we get into this body, we are so much attached with sense gratification that we constantly identify ourselves with this body. Constantly will identify ourselves with this body, or people who are related with this body as our kinsmen. Yesterday we were hearing Prabhupada's class. Prabhupada was saying that people are so much busy in amassing wealth, procuring so many cars, and they're keeping them in their garage. They are thinking that my grandchildren will drive this car. But after some time, they will be dead and gone. Okay, and their children also will be dead and gone. Nobody is permanent here. Okay, which children they are talking about? There are so many living entities. The relationship ends with this material body. Their children, grandchildren, whom they are so much worried about, when they are dead and gone, maybe they will be born as a rat, cat. We may also be born as a rat or cat. So if they are born as a rat and cat, whether will come back to drive the car? So why they are so much worrying about making so much of material arrangements for their future generation? Just because of ignorance, more and more identifying body. Real business in human form of life is to get rid of this material existence, go back to Krishna. That is the real business. And how we can get into that business? We have to reduce our sense gratification. Tapo divyam. This we see that Rishabh Dev instructing his 100 sons, and he's telling that one should perform austerity, voluntarily giving sense gratification. When we start voluntarily giving sense gratification, then the transcendental message becomes digestible. If you are too much attached for sense gratification, then the same knowledge when is spoken to us will not be able to receive it. But when we take this austerity, voluntarily giving up this sense gratification, then we'll find that we can easily understand that knowledge. Tapa, austerity. So that is the actually spiritual practice. In spiritual practice, we see that we all like to sleep late till 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, because we feel mentally satisfied. But then we want to cultivate spiritual knowledge, then we take this pain, austerity, and we get up in Brahma Muhurta. Not that Brahma Muhurta is finished, then we are getting up. Similarly, we see that we like to be independent. What our mind says, we like to listen. We don't want to be under anybody's order, control. But then we know that spiritual life means discipline. Then we act according to the instructions of a spiritual master. Then we take this mental austerity to act according to the instructions of a spiritual master. And in this way, we become disciplined and we understand the spiritual science. So we don't like to study Bhagavad Gita, we don't like to chant Hare Krishna, we like to go to music, some songs, some cinema, this thing, that thing. But then we understand this is all going to further complicate, further make me forget about to Krishna. So we voluntarily give it up. We voluntarily give it up, meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, intoxication, understanding this all may be feeling good, but it is all poisonous, dangerous for my spiritual life. So when we start putting break to our sense gratification, we accelerate our spiritual understanding. So Devahuti is presenting her case to Kapila Muni that because of this sense gratification business, I have fallen into the ignorance, become forgetful. I have become forgetful. Who am I? So here we see that Kapila Deva will start instructing her mother. Since she has asked about, she has forgotten who is she. So he will start explaining in very scientific way. Last week we discussed that he explained the philosophy of Sankhya Yoga. He explained that within our material experience we can understand that we are soul, and then there is a super soul, and then there is a supreme personality of Godhead. We are now forgetful of Krishna because we are so much absorbed in sense gratification that we are not able to see him, and we are not able to relate with him, and therefore we forget him. Material life means business of forgetting Krishna. So Kapila Deva is going to explain now Sankhya Yoga. So we will explain everything very systematically, scientifically, that how one after another all this material creation is done by the Supreme Lord. We will explain that how from the Supreme Lord Mahatattva is produced, and from Mahatattva how the Lord puts the seeds of all the living entities inside, and by his spiritual vision this Mahatattva is agitated with three three modes of material nature, they all starts interacting with each other, and that's how slowly false ego is developed, and then from there sky is developed, mind is developed, intelligence is developed, and this senses, object of senses, working senses, they all starts developing one after another. So very scientifically he explains that's how material creation, which is made of 24 elements, is created. That's how we hear the universe has created by a big bang, but that does not make much of sense, and it's not much appreciated in scientific community also nowadays. It's not possible, doesn't satisfy even common sense. It cannot be mathematically also proved. But here, which is explained by Kapil Muni, Kapil Dev, the personality of Godhead, who is the creator, it makes a lot of sense. That's how the whole creation is taken place. From spiritual substance, by the involvement of the Lord, with the interaction of all material energy of the Lord, this whole universe starts creating 24 elements. There 24 elements are 5 senses of action. Senses of action means hand, mouth, leg, genitals, anus. So these are all senses of action. In sense of perception, eyes, ear, nose, touch, tongue. So these are 5 senses of perception. So altogether 10 senses. And then there are object of senses, like for eyes, form, for the ear, sound, for the nose, smell, like that. 5 object of senses. So altogether it becomes 15. And then 5 gross elements. Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu. Earth, water, air, fire, and sky. There are 5 gross elements. And then 3 subtle elements, Sukshma, Tattva, Man, Buddhi, Ahankar, mind, intelligence, and ego. So these are all together became 23. And then Mahat Tattva, 24. So these are all 24 elements of creation. Kapil Dev has explained very nicely, and is saying that there are 2 things in this material world, Jar and Chetan, animate, inanimate. You see, Jar and Chetan, living entity, and spirit, soul, and matter. So he explains, Devhuti, that you are spirit, soul. The body is just a dress. So further he explains that any matter, why it is called Jara? Because on its own it cannot be mobilized. It's like, for example, this fan, it is now off. If you want to run the fan, the living entity has to put some endeavor, switch on, put the switch on, then fan will start running. For any matter, that is the case, either gross or subtle. Unless the spirit soul pushes or mobilizes the matter, it won't act on its own. So see this, all our senses. Let us take first sense of action, our hand. So unless by some living force this hand is mobilized, hand won't move. Similarly, our feet, unless by some living force it is mobilized, it won't move. So on its own it is inert matter. Unless until any living force starts mobilizing it doesn't move. Now let us see the subtle matter: intelligence, mind, and ego. So this intelligence, mind, actually we are not the intelligence, we are not the mind. Correct? We are different from intelligence and mind. As much as we are different from our hand, our feet, our body, similarly we are different from our mind, our intelligence. Okay, so we are calling our intelligence our mind, but it is whose intelligence, whose mind? Who has created this? Krishna has created. Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi. So Krishna is telling all these things are my separated energies. We may call this as a mind, but whose belongs to whom all this belongs? It belongs to Krishna. Okay. So this intelligence, this mind, this all belongs to Krishna only. Okay, and we are not mind and intelligence. So our hand, we say our hand. Okay, let us see, remove this our, because actually it is not true, it is hand. Because if we say our hand, then we will be confused. Hand. So if hand wants to move, some living force is required, we discussed. Because it is matter on its own, it cannot mobilize. It is therefore called jara. Jara means stationed, cannot be moved. Jara. So if hand has to move, then if hand has to move, then some living force has to work on it. Now who is working? We are working or somebody else is working? We will say, no, I am working. That's what we say. No, I want to lift this hand, I am lifting it. I want to put it down, I am putting it down. So this is what I, spirit, soul, is moving this hand. But this statement is actually this statement is not right. Because if this hand is there, this is not my, I am not the hand, this is the hand. Okay, this is the hand. And to move this, do we need intelligence or not? Without intelligence, can we move this hand? It's like without the program, can we see the movie? There is some program, and with that program only things in the computer we see. So without intelligence, can we move this hand? We cannot move the hand without intelligence. And who is giving this? Whose intelligence is this by which we are moving this hand? This is Krishna's intelligence. Krishna is only supplying that intelligence. He is also saying, my energy. And Krishna, another place, he is telling, Matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes forgetfulness, ignorance, remembrance. So who is giving this intelligence? Krishna or living entity? Living entity is not giving this intelligence. Is Krishna only giving this intelligence? Living entity is only desiring, I want to lift this hand. Then Krishna as Paramatma immediately sanctions this. Let it be so. And he supplies the intelligence and we lift the hand. But then we are forgetful of super soul and we say, see, I am lifting the hand. As much as the small kid sits on the motorbike in the front with his father, and father is actually driving, but he has put into the seat, and he is getting the thrill. I am driving. Throughout he feels very excited. See, I drove the bike. He come back to his house and says, mother, I drove the bike today. The poor fellow, his feet itself is not going towards even to the stand, to the accelerator. He does not know which is accelerator, which is brake, which is clutch. But he is thinking that I have broke the bike. Have you seen this or not? Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki Nitai Gaur Sundar ki Jai. So we see this. Similarly, the living entity in each and every aspect is facilitated by Paramatma, and he is able to do anything, interact with this material world by the Paramatma only. But falsely we are thinking that I am doing. That's what Krishna is telling. Kartaham iti manyate. The thinking, falsely thinking that I am doing, but who is really doing? It is done by Krishna. So the living entity is only desiring, I want to do this. Then Krishna, as an affectionate father, okay, let it be so. I want to do this, let it be so. And more we desire for sense gratification, more and more we forget Krishna. More and more we become away from him. So this is what Devhuti is telling, that because of my sense gratification, I am fallen into the abyss of ignorance. So, and how this ignorance can be removed, how darkness can be removed? By switching on the light. So similarly, now Devhuti, she wants Kapil Dev to enlighten her, and then Kapil Dev will enlighten her. That's what we spoke about Sankhya philosophy. The presence of soul and super soul is wonderfully explained. Whole creation is wonderfully explained by Kapila Muni, and we can very clearly perceive, as we perceive ourselves as a soul, we can very clearly perceive there is a super soul by whom we are able to do anything. We may falsely claim that I am doing, I am thinking, I am saying, I am doing everything, but we are just, our condition is just like we go to sleep and we dream. In the dream, we create, big palace, we create so many wonderful things, and we are thinking that all these things is done by me, but in reality we are just sleeping on the bed. Are we doing anything? It's not, in daydream we are thinking like this, I am doing. That is night dream and this is daydream. We're thinking I am doing. But in reality the spirit soul is just conditioned. Its real senses have not started functioning. It's conditioned and just desiring and experiencing, tasting the fruit, desiring, I want this, then this is given. The not given, then become distressed. I want that, get that, and become very happy. So this is what living entity is just getting, experiencing the desire and getting the experience. So Kapil Muni is wonderfully explaining that this is the Lord is facilitating in each and every aspect, and he has expanded himself with each and every living entity is present as super soul. In each and atom he has present himself as super soul, to hold this whole creation. So this is actually the Lord, we can see everywhere, but then we forget him so much so that we don't see him, and we say, oh, you show me God, then only I'll believe. And Prabhupada, of course it's Prabhupada who can say this, that rascal, you don't want to see, means we don't want to see the God is there everywhere, we don't want to see, we don't have that eyes to see the Lord, but we very much proudly want to deny the existence of the Lord on the basis that I am not seeing him. But the Lord is there everywhere. We cannot be without the Lord. What we are speaking also, because the Lord has given us this is speaking, we are able to say. Otherwise we will be just dumb person. Because the Lord is giving us the intelligence, our eye, it's Lord's eyes only actually, we are able to see through. This senses, this body, we say our body. Is it our body? This is all the senses is created by the Lord. Now how we can say it is our body? This is not our hand. This is Krishna's hand. And to move this also Krishna is giving intelligence. But everything is given by Krishna and we use that for our pleasure and we say we deny Krishna himself. So this is therefore the living entities, such a miserable state of life. It's like there's a very nice Mercedes Benz. Owner of Benz is sitting inside, and he has got a driver also. The driver is there, very nice, good, very first class Mercedes Benz. And somehow another fellow get inside this Mercedes car, and then he starts dictating driver. Oh, come there, go there, go there, go there. And the owner of the Mercedes Benz is also sitting there, but he's a very gentle man. He does not say much, just keeping quiet. And the drivers understand that my boss actually is saying that to follow this person, and we go on the ride. But we take this, his car, his driver, everything, he has put fuel, everything, and we take this car on the ride. Is that a very sane thing to do? First of all, he has allowed us to sit inside the car. It's a big thing. Nobody will allow. Correct or not? Nobody will they allow to touch their car. But we have got inside the car, and then we are just dictating the driver. And the owner is so wonderful person, so nice person, gentleman. He is not saying anything. Let him get it. Let him enjoy. Instead of being grateful to that owner, when we start denying, we start killing him. We start denying his existence. So this is what all of us we are doing. Instead of seeing the Lord, we are just denying it. This car is meant for whom? To serve the owner. But we take this car for our own sense gratification. So unless we stop this business, we will not be happy. Because this is a criminal act. It will be criminal act. And we will be punished. That's how material nature is punishing us. Pritap is there. Then Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Constantly we have to go from one body to another body and perpetually be in this material world. But as soon as the person who has got inside the car start relating with the owner, oh, you are my very good friend, very nice. Then starts relating with the owner, and the owner is actually looking for this only. He has hinted the driver, whatever he is saying, you do it. But the owner is just waiting when this person will relate with me. Okay, when you start relating with him, then you see that the whole scene is changed. Then this is no more criminal act, and we start relating with the owner. So it's what living entity, when it starts relating with the super soul sitting in the heart, understanding this, we should do this, we should not do this. Okay, and we see that that super soul will take him to the right place, will take him out from this miserable material world. So this Devhuti is the most important moment in her life. She is found personality of Godhead as present himself, and she starts inquiring to become free from this material existence. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, प्रतीत पांच प्रभुपाद की जय.